another edition of Better in Green Live. We have Saturday college game day. We are on to week 8. This is a slate that we were talking about for a while. I know last week was a very exciting week in college football with a lot of rankings, top matchups. Today is the same thing. We have very big SEC games, honestly, 3 really big SEC games. Obviously, the biggest one and the host of College Game Day is number 5 Georgia at number 1 Texas. Texas is keeps increasing. They're up to 5 points. We'll get into that game a little later on here. Then we do have another good game at 3:30. That is between Alabama and Tennessee, a fierce rivalry. Also should be a phenomenal game. Then a couple other games. We have one more ranked matchup is Michigan, Illinois. We do have Arkansas, LSU, which has a fishy line. A couple Big Ten matchups that I'm excited to watch. Overall, just a really exciting week of college football. So usually on these morning lives, we pretty much go through the slate time slot by time slot, go through the games we like, give out our predictions of those bets. As always, we do tweet out our bets, usually an hour or two, if not a couple minutes before game time. So if you do want all of our official plays, we will post those on Twitter. But obviously, we're coming to 2 hours to till that noon slate. So a lot of these thoughts and opinions we have right now are probably not going to change a whole lot unless we do have some pregame jitters where we switch sides. But again, make sure you do follow on Twitter. Both of our personal accounts are listed right below our images here. But also make sure you do follow Better in Green over there on Twitter. We post a lot of things. And as always, please like, subscribe, and share over here on YouTube. This is our main platform and our main monetization platform over here. So we really appreciate you guys liking, sharing, commenting as well. And yeah, if there's any games that you guys want us to jump to, please feel free to comment. We'll jump to those, put those at the top of our priority. And yeah, your opinions are very meaningful to us as well. So just let us know what you think in the comments here. But Ethan, welcome. How you feeling heading into week 8 of college football?
Yeah. First of all, for those that watch Power 5 Picks, apologies for the loser on Purdue Friday night. We were just talking before the show, though. I still feel like it was honestly the right side. I mean, they had plenty of chances to score. They were just down and opted to go for it. Couldn't convert, but you're still a touchdown away from covering without putting a point on the board. So apologies for that. But yeah, I don't know. I've switched my opinions from a few of the show plays. I don't expect to have a very good show record this week from the Power 5 picks. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's a few plays I like, but very similarly to the last couple of weeks, it's really like backloaded. Like I like a lot of the night games. I'm not crazy about the noon slate. I might have one play. I'm kind of excited to pick your brain about it, see what you think, or see if you've even looked into it. Um, the 3:30 slate, yeah, some good games, but like nothing I'm super excited about putting my money on. Um, but yeah, I do have a few pretty strong leans in the night game. I have not placed any college football bets yet. I have placed a hockey bet that I kind of want to talk about. I actually have a few hockey games I like, but as far as college football, I have not placed anything yet. But yeah, we'll probably just be selective and expect to have a winning day.
Yeah, this is going to be my first weekend in recent weeks where I am really being selective on my games. If you haven't followed me on Twitter, I have been making like 10 to 15 college football bets every single week. That's usually because I am up in money, and usually when I have money to spare, I dive into some of those games where normally I wouldn't be betting. But today, being very selective. The bankroll is slim, very slim. In order for me to bet even more on the 3:30 or the 7 p.m. slate, some of my noon slate games have to hit. So I'm in a dangerous area. Usually when this happens, when I take it time slot by time slot, I usually lose everything because what I win at noon, I automatically roll over to the 3:30, and then I just keep rolling over, 3 different bets. So it's a little nerve wracking. I did this like week 1 of college football. And it was extremely stressful. I thought I was having a mini heart attack. But yeah, it's just what I got to do. I don't really want to deposit any more money here. So trying to just build a small bankroll with the noon slate and then play it from there. But did you want to get into your NHL first while we're here, or do you want to jump into college football?
Um, Whichever works. I will just say, if anyone's watching and if they're interested, I do have a Premier League soccer play going. It literally starts here in like a minute or two. And it's gross. You're gonna have to play chalk. It's minus 200, but it's Brighton and Newcastle both to score. Basically, my betting in the EPL lifetime has just been atrocious. It's been really, really bad. I would try to, take um, like even money plays basically or minus 110s and just could not guess right. So I've started laying quite a bit of chalk in EPL, but I've won like, I don't know, 3 weeks in a row, I think, in Premier League, just laying minus 150 to minus 200 on plays like this. I just feel really confident in. So if anyone wants it, again, it's pretty gross. It's minus 200, but it's something I feel pretty confident in. But yeah, as far as hockey, I can do whatever. I can get into that now if you want, or
Yeah, why don't you give out some of your hockey leans so far? I will say, make sure you do head over to our website. Ethan's brother Aaron does do a lot of Premier League soccer bets and soccer in general. So I know myself, I'm not much of a soccer better, but he does post some very valuable blogs over there and picks. So if you do want some soccer insight, make sure you do check out bettergreen.com for those.
yeah, and he does. He just had an article go up, and I believe his three main bets are all later, either like tomorrow or Monday's slate, and maybe one late game today. So yeah, good plug there. Go check that out. Um, the one play I have locked in for the NHL, and again, you're gonna have to lay juice. So it's I don't know. It's not something I'm super excited about, but I started off really rough in the NHL. I have hit three straight, so I'm feeling like I'm finally starting to see it a little bit better. I'm taking Nashville to get their first win at home on Saturday against the Red Wings, a team that they've already been shut out against. Um, this is Lion and net for the Wings, so it is their best option at goaltender so far in the year. Um, but defensively, they're just extremely shaky. The Preds, I think, just took a couple of games to get going, with the additions of Stamkos and just kind of a new roster that this team's supposed to be really good. But I think it just takes a little bit to gel and flow together. But yeah, they've struggled. They lost to the Stars, the Wings, the Kraken, and the Oilers, none of which are terrible teams. The Wings are probably the worst team in that 4 team stretch, but I just think at home in Nashville, Saturday day game. It's a 2 o'clock game. I think the home crowd's going to be pretty rowdy, and I think the Preds are probably going to pick up their first win. They do have UC Saros in that, who overall is one of the better goalies in the NHL. He has struggled a little bit this year. He has 3.84 goals against average, so not great. 878 save percentage, but I think he turns it around today. I think the Preds have ample chances to score here, so I laid I think minus 176. So again, not sexy by any means, but I do think the Preds get that first win. Um, and then just two leans. One, I will lock in. I'm just debating if I want the 6 or 6.5. I want the Canadians Islanders under. I will probably take under 6. You can get it at like minus 105 or 110. Um, but those are just two teams. I won't go long on that. That's just two teams I'm looking to bet unders on, especially the Islanders. And then I also like the under Hurricanes and Blues. Same reason. Just two teams that I think overall will be under teams this year. Um, so yeah, so far I have the Preds locked in. I will be on that Isles under for sure, and I depending on how those go, I might get involved in that Blues under as well.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's on DraftKings right now. It's minus 185, so it is a little pricey. But that's Detroit's only win, right, against Nashville. And
Yep.
now Nashville, I think Detroit was at home in that game. Now Nashville's at home and it's minus 185. Again, it's kind of like the what I like playing into. It's people just look at common or recent games and see that these two teams just played and Detroit won, I think 3-0 or something like that.
Yep.
Now they're going to be seeing Detroit's now plus 150. I mean, yeah, I like the Preds on that. Besides that, yeah, I haven't looked at hockey much. I kind of like the Stars to destroy the Oilers, but I'm probably not going to bet that. But yeah, I like those plays. The Predators would be a great parlay piece too if you're not wanting to lay the minus 185. But yeah, I like those. And again, I know it is college football Saturday, but a lot of sports going on. A lot of sports going on. I'm refusing to bet baseball. I don't even know if there is baseball today, but I'm refusing to bet playoff baseball. I'm done with it. Don't take unders, which that being said, the unders are probably going to hit in the next 4 games. But yeah, let's get into college football. As always, for those watching, we do go time slot by time slot. So we're going to start with the noon slate. But if there is a game you want us to jump to or games you have questions on, please comment and let us know. If you have a bet that you like or a bet that you disagree on, please make sure you let us know. We like this is kind of a live for me and Ethan to pick each other's brains, but also for you guys to ask questions as well or to give out picks. So starting at the noon slate again, like you said, it's a back heavy schedule today. So noon slate's not great. We do have some Big Ten matchups. In my opinion, I think a very sneaky good game is this Miami Louisville game. Miami, had a tough little stretch here, barely beating Virginia Tech and then going to Cal and barely winning that game. Now they travel to Louisville, which was a ranked team. And I said it on over on Power Five Picks. Again, it is our YouTube show where we post all of our top matchups here. I did say this is Miami's season here. They play no one after this game besides potentially Clemson in the ACC championship game. So this is their season. I mean, it's a cakewalk after this. They, normally did have Florida State. Turns out Florida State's ass. And Louisville, not ranked right now, but they are a very, very tough team. I think they lost two in a row. I think they definitely could sneak into the rankings here. I love Louisville in this game. I have not bet them, but I think Louisville might win this game outright. Miami's powerhouse status has kind of diminished since, they might have lost in OT or in the final seconds of that Virginia Tech game. They called a Hail Mary. They overturned it, and then they easily could have lost to that Cal game. They came back and won that in the fourth. So Miami's powerhouse status, national champion status, has kind of diminished a little bit, and I think Louisville might be able to catch them here. Again, this is Miami's season. I know they're going to get up for it, but I think they can win this game, and then the season's a cakewalk. I think Louisville has a great opportunity to play spoiler here. Again, I have not bet it. I have put in a little parlay. But I've not bet this game straight up. But I love Louisville, and I think that's a very sneaky game today that could be very exciting and has a lot of implications for the future of the ACC.
Yeah, I agree with you on this game. I will slightly disagree, though. I actually think Georgia Tech and Syracuse are going to give Miami a lot of trouble later on in their schedule. I think they definitely lose one of the three: Louisville, Georgia Tech, or Cuse. I think they're going to lose that Syracuse game personally. Maybe Georgia Tech as well, but yeah, I think they lose at least one, if not two of those. So I don't expect Miami to be probably in the college football playoff whatsoever when it's all said and done. But yeah, I agree. I think Louisville plus the points here. The only reason I'm not going to bet it is Miami is off a bye. So, they did have those two kind of emotional wins, like you said, but they've kind of gotten a chance to calm down. And Louisville does have a road game against Boston College on Friday night to look ahead to. So, not that they're in any place to look ahead, but just one of those Friday night short week standalone type games. If the roles were reversed, if they were in opposite spots, I'd probably be all over Louisville, but it's just a game I'm going to have to stay away from. I do a college football pick'ems every week where you pick like the money line, you rank them by confidence. I do have Louisville picked in that to win the game outright for a pretty low confidence, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to actually have any money on that one.
What's the before I keep giving my picks and opinions, what's the one game you have a lean on in the noon slate?
It is Louisiana and Coastal Carolina.
Ooh, okay. That isn't a parlay. I do have a bet in that game. Not a straight bet, but yeah, I like it. So let me continue to roll down and then we can get into that ULL Coastal game. Two Big Ten games. We have Nebraska at Indiana. We did cover this game over on Power Five Picks. And then we do have another Big Ten game. Sorry, two more: Wisconsin, Northwestern, UCLA, Rutgers. So let's pair all three of these together here. I believe me and you are both in agreement that Indiana's a little overrated. We talked about them on Power Five Picks, like I just said, but I am on Nebraska. I have locked this bet in. I got them at the +7. I did buy this up. I think I got it at -120, -125. They're currently sitting at +6.5 now. I think Nebraska is going to cover this game. I originally was really high on them to win. I still think they might, but I think Indiana might squeeze this out at the end, possibly by a field goal. But I honestly think this is going to be a really back and forth game. I think it's going to be much closer than people think. I will give Indiana the advantage at the end of the game. I think they might win it in front of their home crowd here, but I think Nebraska is going to put up a hell of a battle. Um, and again, I'm just not super high on Indiana. Would also possibly lean the over here. I know these are two notorious under teams. Indiana mostly because they have zero offense in years past. Um, but their offense, it's a different team here. They do have a much better throwing attack, and Nebraska can score as well. So I would lean the over, but I am on Nebraska here. Quickly, let me just rattle off these other ones. I unfortunately locked in Northwestern. I don't love that at all. I think Wisconsin's going to win. Wisconsin did have a big win last weekend, so possibly a little hangover spot, but so did Northwestern. They destroyed Maryland. So Northwestern, just moved to plus 9. Northwestern's a scrappy team. They're not as bad as what they have been. Oh, we just got a new sub. Thank you for the sub, my man. 847 here. We
Hell yeah.
appreciate it. Um, if you do have any games you want us to jump to, please let us know in the comments here. Um, yeah, I think Northwestern's going to battle here. I do think Wisconsin's going to win that game, and then I actually love Rutgers quite a bit. I know they have kind of fell off the totem pole here, but UCLA traveling is never a good sign, and this is probably their longest travel in the Big Ten, all the way to Rutgers, coast to coast, truly. So I do like Rutgers in that game. Again, money line would be a great parlay piece in there at the minus 185. But yeah, my one bet so far in this Big Ten early matchup is that Nebraska Cornhuskers to cover at Indiana.
Yeah, yeah, I'll quickly touch on first of all, just hilarious that UCLA and Rutgers are in the same conference when they geographically could not be further apart. Also going to Nebraska, Indiana. When was the last time you saw Patrick Mahomes as almost a touchdown underdog? Um, with Raiola there, but I actually I'm not as confident in Nebraska as I once was. And basically I've seen a lot of sharp and professional bettors and guys that I follow and listen to that lean the Indiana side. And that's really just taking me right off of Nebraska. So I guess myself personally, I do still think Nebraska is the right side in this one, but just, those professional opinions that have been there, done that for 25, 30, 40 years. Um, it's just keeping me away from that game. So I still lean Nebraska, but not going to put money on it. And then, yeah, I lean Rutgers with you. I think it's a nice kind of buy high on or buy low on Rutgers, sell high on UCLA. Even though UCLA isn't winning, but they just had a nice cover against Minnesota. They've really played relatively tough the last few weeks. Um, and then I'm not going to bet Northwestern, but I do like it. You mentioned Wisconsin's big win last week. They have Penn State on deck as well. Um, and is that a whiteout? It's going to be a Penn State home. Oh no, sorry, it's at Wisconsin. So, um, but yeah, Penn State on deck. I mean, it's always a big matchup. Wisconsin, even though they haven't been as great the last few years, they're still one of the recognized teams, I guess, in the Big Ten, and they're still going to want to get up against Penn State. So, yeah, I lean Nebraska, lean Rutgers, lean Northwestern. Not getting involved in either of them.
Probably a smart idea. I have a bad feeling Indiana's going to destroy Nebraska and then make me look like an idiot. That usually happens more often than not. I will say before we get into that Raging Cajuns game, I have seen people taking East Carolina on the spread against Army. Army is one of the few 6-0 teams against the spread. So if you want to take that, I would definitely say buckle up. But I have seen quite a bit of people on East Carolina to cover against Army. And then I have seen a decent amount of people on Arizona State at the spread against Cincy, but I'm not going to get involved in that game. And then Wake Forest UConn is kind of disgusting. Again, not getting involved in that game. But Louisiana and Coastal here. You said this is your one lean on the noon slate.
This is, and before I get into that, just to touch on that Army game, I do think worst case scenario, if you fade Army and Navy this week, you'll go 1-1. I think you have a better shot of going 2-0 than you do 0-2. Um, my fear is that they're just military school, so like I don't know if they play into the whole letdown thing quite as much as everyone else. Just because I know, you think of the military as like very disciplined, so that's kind of my hesitancy here, but obviously both moved up into the top 25, which is a spot that we like to fade. Like you said, I think they're both 6-0 against the spread. I could be wrong on that, but they're both kind of overperforming where maybe people thought they would be. Um, but yeah, they're both at home. I mean, they're both military academies, so I don't know if I'm gonna get involved. If I do, it's gonna be both. It's all or nothing for me. Either fade both of them or don't get involved. So that's my 2 cents there. As for Louisiana and Coastal, so right away, just right when I saw this game, I'm like, Coastal plus 5.5. It just kind of jumped off the page to me. Most people saw Coastal play last week because they did play on a Thursday night. So every casual football fan was watching that game. Absolutely boat race by James Madison, 39-7. They looked completely horrible. Um, and they were only like a touchdown underdog in that one, so completely blown out. So I kind of think the recency bias here has driven that line up. I know Louisiana is a good team this year. I mean, they beat App State in their last time out. And they have a win against Wake Forest. Their only loss is Tulane. They do. It's not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday is when we get into some of these Sun Belt midweek games. So their next game that they do play is a Tuesday game. So I'm not saying that I think they're going to be looking ahead to that, but um, it's always special to play those midweek games for some of these smaller teams. Um, but yeah, really, I just think the line is fishy. I think Coastal's maybe a little bit better than what we're giving them credit for. I think the line is just inflated due to that recency bias of what we just saw against JMU, who is a really good team. They've had the extra day to prep for this game. Um, and then lastly, this is a game in that college football pick'ems that I do. ESPN gives them like a 52 point some odd chance to win the game outright. Um, FPI, I think is what they call that. I don't give that like too much of I don't put that into my handicap really at all, but I just saw it. I thought it was interesting. They have according to ESPN, a better chance of winning this game outright than Louisiana does, and you're catching 5.5 points at home. So I don't know. Do you have any lean on that game?
I love the Raging Cajuns here at the minus five
Oof,
and a half.
oof. That'll keep me off.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That'll keep me off.
Basically, yeah. I mean, getting 5.5 points at Coastal, and I still think people are, Coastal has always been that team recently as that group of five school that people remember. They're pretty good. They used to have Grayson McCall. They were winning games. They were going deep. They were undefeated or one or two losses. And now they're seeing them as a 5.5 point dog at home. I don't know. I just think just on first glance, it just seems like a little obvious to take Coastal there. I am seeing Louisiana as a very public team here. So I have again sprinkled Louisiana in that parlay, but again, it's like a $5. Please save me. Build my bankroll noon slate parlay there. So probably not going to hit, but yeah, I kind of just I really haven't looked at it as much as you have, but just on first glance, I was like, wow, Coastal plus 5.5 seems like a little bit of a gimme there. So again, you definitely put in a little more research than I have on that game, but yeah, first thought, and I didn't take a whole lot of time on that parlay, but first thought, I was on Louisiana there.
Okay, that'll probably keep me off.
Again, it was a first glance type of thing. So you definitely studied that game a little more than I did. We do have an interesting 12:45 game. SEC is putting on some weird time slots here. South Carolina, Oklahoma, another game that's going a little under the radar here. Obviously, South Carolina dueled with Alabama last week, and Oklahoma got dismantled by Texas in front of everyone in the Red River shootout. Um, Oklahoma is riddled with injuries. South Carolina coming off an emotional loss. South Carolina is a 1.5 point favorite here. I can't back Oklahoma. It's a game that's the definition of stay away. Way too many injuries over there in Oklahoma, but I think Oklahoma might get a shot there. Again, people are seeing South Carolina battle Bama and Oklahoma getting dismantled by Texas. So I think Oklahoma might be some value there, but again, I think with the injuries and everything that's going on there, it's the definition of a stay away game. But do you have any read on that Sooners and Gamecocks game?
Yeah, I'll be right there with you. Definition of a stay away game, and I think it's because there's two ways that people are going to look at this. You mentioned one of them. They're going to look at last week. South Carolina almost beats Alabama. Oklahoma only gets three on Texas. They get absolutely blown out. So that's uh, the first way they're going to look at it, or the other way they're going to look at it. They're going to scroll South Carolina at Oklahoma. Oklahoma's the underdog at home. Boom, we're taking Oklahoma 4-2 against 3-3. Not looking into it whatsoever. It's just Oklahoma's the bigger name, um, the better record at home, underdog. They're going to pop it. So that's one reason to look at Oklahoma, one reason to look at South Carolina. So for me, it's a stay away. Public looks to be on South Carolina, so they are probably doing the recency bias more than just the underdog at home, better name. But yeah, I guess if I had to give you a lean, I'd probably give you Oklahoma as well. But it's not a game I'm getting involved in.
Yeah, again, a lot of big games today. Normally, I would be attacking the slate, betting every game that I had even the slightest of interest on. But I'm trying the strategy of being a little more selective there. So, still a good game. I think it might be worthy of a watch. Again, that weird time slot, and you're probably gonna have to stream East Stick because no one has SEC network over here in the Midwest, but it could be a pretty good game here. I got nothing at the two games, nothing super exciting there. Then we can get to this 3:30 slate. And again, Ethan, let me know if there's any games that I'm missing here.
Yep.
Let's start with God. Let's just start. Let's just get it out of there. Let's start with Michigan, Illinois. Completely honest, if you can't tell from my hat, from my background here, big Michigan fan, but I'm also a super critical Michigan fan. With that being said, I never bet against my team. And I lose a lot of money on these Sons of Guns, especially when they're 1-5 against the spread, which is very scary. But this line, they're all the way up to -4.5 now against Illinois. They're at Illinois. This is our third ranked game of the weekend. I'm looking just on DraftKings. It's the only book I have pulled up. I'm seeing Michigan's getting 29% of the bets. Let me quickly look over here at action. Um, but from what I was understanding, from what I've been watching all week of this Michigan Illinois game, is that Michigan was, not like they normally are. They're normally a very public team. Even though they they have sucked this year, the public. I mean, they're a nationwide brand. The public, usually likes Michigan, especially winning the national championship last year. Humble brag there. But from what I've seen, they just have not been super public this week, and the line has moved crazy in favor of the Wolverines. We were recording Power Five picks on Thursday. I believe this was at 4, so it's gone up half a point. But Michigan was at I think they're +1 on Sunday morning when the lines came out, like at 12 a.m. And since have gone up to -4.5. I do think we have missed our window on Michigan. I think anything under a field goal would have been a good bet there. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to find this. It's at the top here. Trying to find actions public read on this Michigan game. But again, Michigan's terrible at covering the spread. I do think they are the right side here. I'm not laying out 4.5 points because Michigan can't cover anything, but I have taken Michigan money line. I got it at -175 yesterday. But depending how this noon slate goes, I may just unload everything on Michigan money line here. Yeah, action I'm seeing Michigan's at 53% on the spread here, so a little public there. I mean, not really public at all, but slightly 50-50. I think Michigan's 100% the right side. Again, we talked about it on Power 5 picks, but they just are coming off a bye. Illinois is coming off an overtime thriller against Purdue that they pulled out of their ass. Michigan needed that bye. They implemented a new quarterback. Yes, he does have like 12 years of experience, but it's just he got thrown into a national championship rematch on the road as his first start of the year after being out all camp with an elbow injury. So it was a terrible spot to throw him in there. I think 2 weeks of practice and rest and just learning chemistry with the guys and timing and everything is a huge advantage for Michigan. So I think Michigan wins this game by a touchdown. I think it's gonna be pretty low scoring still. Every Michigan game is low scoring here. But I am taking Michigan money line, and I know it's juicy, but I am increasing my units here. Again, I have almost 2 units to win one right now. We'll probably be throwing another unit come kickoff. Love Colston Loveland today. Jack Tuttle is Michigan's quarterback. He actually is a capable passer. And Colston Loveland is back. He got really introduced last week as well. Catching, I think he had 87 yards last week. His line right now for receiving yards is 55. I would take that any second of the day. Also, Colson Loveland to score. Again, passing attack for Michigan is going to be better than it has been all year. So love Colson Loveland, love Michigan money line. Would be very cautious laying it with the -4.5 because again, I think we missed our window on Michigan. The 2.5, I think, was the highest you can go, or the 3, the highest you can go on the Michigan spread. They could cover by a field goal. I don't trust the 4.5, so that reason I'm taking just the money line. Again, it's gross, but sometimes you got to do gross things for the teams you love.
Yeah, so I'm going to disagree with you again here, but in a good way. I think you can lay the 4.5 still. I've completely flipped this game, and it's actually, I think, maybe my favorite game on the board.
Yeah, wow.
Also,
I got
do,
goosebumps.
do you watch Jersey Jerry, the signs with Jersey Jerry
I've
on
seen
Thursdays?
clips, but I haven't watched the entirety of it.
Okay. Yeah, it just gives out like one like anytime touchdown for the Thursday night game, and he does all these sign things. The signs, you have a big M on your hat, a big W on your shirt. So I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a Michigan win.
that's the Michigan dub. Um, yeah, I hope people that watch Power Five picks are tuned in right now because I've completely flipped my opinion. I'm fairly confident that's going to be an L on my show bet there, but um, yeah, I did not put nearly enough emphasis on Tuttle being the starter with the week to prepare, like you just touched on. And I think that's absolutely huge. I think he gives them the best shot to win. Um, he's like, how old is he? He's like mid 20s, right?
25, I believe.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean, just
26.
a mature guy. I mean, he's not some kid making his first start. He's not really going to have the jitters. He's been around the block. He's been in college football, probably since I've been in college. So yeah, I didn't put nearly enough emphasis on that. Illinois is just obviously everyone's going to want to be on Illinois at home, ranked team. Michigan hasn't looked nearly as good as what we're used to, but yeah, I think if this is orgy, I'm probably on Illinois again. But with Tuttle here, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Oh, and I actually just locked it in, but I found a -3.5 still available, -115 on ESPN bet. So if anyone wants to join, I'd hop in right now. This is even -5 on like Caesars, I think, right now. So you got to shop around, but yeah, I just locked it in. Michigan -3.5, -115 on ESPN bet. Yeah, I think Michigan roll. I think they win it by at least a touchdown here. So I think you still can lay the 4.5. I'd be a little cautious on the 5. But yeah, I think Michigan is the right play.
God, I love that. I love that. I can easily be convinced. Don't twist my arm, please. Um, Again, yeah, there's a lot of line movement there, and for what I'm seeing, it's just not the normal Michigan 70+% of the bets. So I do think there is some heavy money coming in on the Wolverines here. Yeah, then let's go into I would say the second best game of the weekend. Our second ranked matchup. This is number 7 Bama at number 11 Tennessee. Bama's been stuck at a 3-point favorite all week. Just stay in there. Majority bets I'm seeing from everywhere are coming in on Bama. Over under is 57.5. I think is a slight increase from when we recorded Power 5 picks. It was 57, so it's gone up about a point there. God, I don't think I'm gonna bet this game. I can't figure it out. I still lean Bama, but I just don't like it. I don't know what kind of Bama we're gonna get. I don't know if we're gonna get the Bama first half against Georgia that looked like the best team in the country and not even close, or if we're gonna get the second half of Bama versus Georgia, or if we're gonna get Bama versus Vandy, or if we're gonna get Bama versus South Carolina. They've looked phenomenal and they've looked miserable, all in the same game, all in the same weeks. So I don't know. I do think Tennessee is capable of scoring. Like I said, it's hard not to take the over here. I don't like this game. And again, last week or the weeks prior, when I had money to spend, I would probably throw it because I have to bet the ranked game, right? But I'm just not seeing this game at all. So I think as of right now, I'm gonna just stay away.
Yeah, this is another one that I've kind of flipped on. I just really quick, just to go back to the Michigan game quick. I have had a really good read on Michigan this year and Michigan State for that matter. So we'll get into that. But yeah, I don't know if I've actually lost on Michigan this year. I lost an under, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I do feel really strongly about Michigan today. So, but this game, I have kind of flipped. I do lean Bama. I'm looking right now. I think I would almost lean like a first half money line for Bama, -135. I don't think I'm gonna bet this game. Maybe touchdown props. Jalen Milrow, if he's still like right around plus money, I think he's a solid touchdown scoring bet. No, he's not. He's minus 275. Don't touch it.
Milbro?
Milrow.
What's Jam Miller at?
I think he was worse, like three something.
Jesus. Okay.
Oh no, he's not. Jam is 110.
Okay.
I
I
don't
like
get
Jam
that.
then. Yeah. What
Ryan
about
Williams is 130. Dylan
okay.
Sampson is minus 330 for Tennessee.
Jeez.
Milrow, man, I was hitting. Well, I only had Milrow once this year, but so way better price than that. Um, yeah, great game. Cannot wait to watch it. I think Bama ends up covering. Again, I think I gave out Tennessee in the show, or maybe I did the under. I can't really remember. But yeah, I would look for Bama first half money line. I think is the best way I would play this.
Yeah, I mean, that was a easy bet against Georgia. They were up 28-0 after the first, 17 minutes of that game. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see Bama not getting up for this game, and I think they definitely did not get up for Vandy. I think they were, we talked about it last or a couple weeks ago on our show. That game against South Carolina, you know, we need to have a system out there after an emotional loss. Is a team too eager to score again, like too eager to win again, or are they just back to normal? And I think Bama was just too eager to get back into the win column against South Carolina last week, and it kind of caught them off guard again. So I think that might be a bad spot as well. Coming off a terrible loss, worst loss of the season, probably worst loss since honestly Michigan Appalachian State, and responding after that, is a tough spot, but on paper, Bama is phenomenal. They're still a fantastic team. That Georgia win is going to carry them, especially with the 12-team playoff. They're not out of it. Even with another loss, I don't think they're out of it. So just you can't lose to Vandy in this SEC schedule. But yeah, again, right now I lean Bama, but don't know if I'm going to get there. I think it's just going to be a great game to watch. Probably won't be watching super intently because I'll be screaming at my TV at Michigan. But I do think that it's going to be a fantastic game to watch. They didn't play.
I will.
Did they play last year? 2 years ago was the OT win from
Yeah, the
Tennessee.
Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
Hendon Hooker's kind of like breakout game, I guess. Yeah, I don't think they played last year.
Okay.
Um, I'm actually flipping. I might just take Bama money line. I just don't see Bama losing this game. So I'm seeing 148 on DraftKings. You can probably get closer to 140 elsewhere, but I might just pop Bama money line. I don't see them losing. Also, this kind of makes me like the Predators game a little bit more because you're gonna have a bunch of just people drinking for the Preds game and the Tennessee game downtown. So I think that crowd's gonna be rocking for the Preds, but whatever.
Whatever. I like it. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. I have absolutely nothing on this game. I don't even remember what this line. I think this line was at 12 and a half a couple days ago. It's now up to 13 and a half in favor of Notre Dame. I got nothing. I kind of lean Georgia Tech. Not super sold on Notre Dame. They are again very hit and miss type of team. But yeah, I just don't like that game enough. Not going to watch it at all. So nothing on the Notre Dame game. I do love Charlotte. Like you said, that those two military games, Navy against East Carolina, and then Army against East Carolina, Navy against Charlotte. You did say if you take both dogs, you're probably going to hit 1-1 at worst. My favorite of the two is Charlotte to cover here. I do think Army is a much better team than Navy. And I think Charlotte's better than East Carolina. So I like Charlotte quite a bit here to cover this game. It's a 16 and a half. You might be able to get a 17 around there, but I do like Charlotte. That is my one lean in those two military games. But do you have anything on Notre Dame or Navy? And I do think Navy plays in Notre Dame next week. So it is a
Yes.
look ahead spot for Navy. I don't think Army has anyone important on their schedule next, but they might have Air Force.
They have Air Force.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Which, whatever. But yeah, I do like Charlotte. Out of the two our military games, I do like Charlotte to cover that one more than East Carolina. Like both, but Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm with you. To be honest, if Army covers against East Carolina, I'll probably just jump in on Charlotte, thinking that one of them will win, and at that point, that's the only chance. So, Yeah, I might join you if you get involved there. I do also like Georgia Tech. This is a pretty strong lean. It's going to be kind of a game time decision whether I get involved. But like you said, the Navy game on deck, so touch of a look ahead. But really, the main thing that I like here is Georgia Tech can just run the hell out of the football, and that's what Northern Illinois did to really give Notre Dame trouble early in the year and get that outright win. Um, Georgia Tech is one of the best running teams in the country. Um, and yeah, I just think they're going to be able to kind of control the pace of play. They're at home, catching 14. Yeah, I don't know. Notre Dame's looked, a lot better as of late. They had that blowout win last week against Stanford, but it's not like Stanford's any good. They beat Louisville by a touchdown, but I don't know that Georgia Tech is worse than Louisville. And that was at Notre Dame. So yeah, I don't know. I might get involved on Georgia Tech. I think Notre Dame probably wins this game by 10, but catching like two touchdowns, if you can get the plus 14, I think they're gonna be able to run all over them.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Again, probably not going to bet it just because there's a lot going on for me at 3:30. But yeah, that would be my lean as well. I got nothing else at the 3:30. I do have something at the. Did I? Did I already talk about that game? Did I skip that game? I totally skipped the noon game that I have a bet on. Did I talk about Auburn, Missouri?
No.
Okay, Auburn. Wow, wow. Okay. Um, line has moved. Line has moved since the last hour. Auburn's traveling to number 19, Mizzou. Auburn's now a 3-point dog on the road. I got this one locked in. Sorry, I completely forgot. I have Auburn at the +4 at this noon slate against Missouri. Again, this was at 5.5, 6 points at the beginning of the week. It's now dropped all the way to Auburn at the +3. I believe Mizzou has Bama on deck.
Yep.
So a big game look ahead spot for Mizzou. They're at home, and Auburn is, I think, 2-4 on the year. Not a good football team. Maybe this line would make sense if it was at Auburn, but it's at Missouri. So I love Auburn. I have them locked in at the +4. I completely apologize. I can't believe I skipped that one. Yeah, it's one of it's probably my favorite noon read, honestly. The +3 is pretty gross. I can't believe it got to +3. I still think Missouri is a very public team. Yeah, on DraftKings, 76% is coming in on Mizzou. Line has dropped a whole point. I mean, at this rate, Auburn might win this game outright. Yeah, I mean, if you can, I would say wait, but I mean, the line just dropped a whole point. I love Auburn. It's my favorite noon game. Sorry that I couldn't give out the +4 when it was there. I would, at this point, wait. The +3 is pretty gross. You definitely can find a +3.5 out there. Might come back up to 4 come kickoff, but yeah, Auburn's my favorite noon slate or noon game. And it's honestly not even close. I think they have a great shot of winning this game outright.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like Auburn quite a bit. I'm gonna get involved. Um, yeah, like you said, Mizzou has Bama on deck. And the one thing that I didn't notice earlier when I was looking at this game that I'm just now noticing, it's really their one game to make noise in. They lost their other ranked game against A&M. They did beat Boston College when Boston College was ranked 24th in the country, but it doesn't. It's not going to hold a ton of weight come college football playoff time. So this is really their last shot. I mean, after this, they have Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, and Arkansas, none of which are or likely will be ranked by the time they're playing. So, yeah, I think it's a huge look ahead spot against Bama. Kind of tough travel. They had to go up to UMass last week, and now they have to travel next week to Bama. The line is fishy as could be. Um, my one concern here is Auburn's quarterback's name is Peyton Thorne, and I've just seen that guy. If his name was anything else, he could have the same stats, same build, same everything. If his name was anything else, I'd rush to be on Auburn. I'll still back it, but when that guy fucks me over today, I can't even hate anybody but myself because I've seen it over and over. More so, honestly, with Auburn than he did with Michigan State. But yeah, I'm going to be on Auburn. I think it's a good play. I think they likely win outright as well.
Yeah, it's one of the fishier lines, and you know how I love those fishy lines. There is a couple good games at 4. There's 3 of them. I do have a bet on one of them. My one bet is in the USC Maryland game. I love Maryland at the spot at home. I have Maryland at the plus 7.5. Already locked it in as one of my six bets for the day so far. USC again, season's collapsed. They lost to Minnesota. They really battled with Penn State at home. They lost in overtime against Penn State. Kind of blew that game away. I believe they were up like 21-3 at half. Ended up losing that game in OT. So two back-to-back losses for USC. Again, season not completely over, but well, actually it is. Their playoff hopes are over. They have three losses now. They did lose to Michigan as well. So three-loss USC team. Now traveling 3,000 miles to Maryland. Again, I keep saying 3,000 miles, but it's literally coast to coast. It's Atlantic to the or Pacific to the Atlantic. It's close to 3,000 miles. Um, Maryland's trash too. They just lost to Northwestern. They lost to Michigan State. They lost another game in there. Maryland's a three-loss team. I think Maryland wins this game outright. They're plus 225 right now. Honestly, it's probably my favorite dog at this type of value here at the above plus 200 here. I think USC is. I still think they're a really good football program, but I think they're the problem with some of these schools. If you lose your players, what is it like motivation for postseason? A lot of these guys will quit on you, and I just don't think Lincoln Riley really has the like the Dan Campbell where he would still find ways to motivate his team and get his team up for games. I think USC is just kind of oh, it's just another 500 season, I guess. We'll play some Camping World Bowl game against some no name. So I really think USC's kind of put, I think they took a huge hit this year, or these last couple of weeks. So I like Maryland. I think Maryland on the cover, you get above the touchdowns, great. I love that they just lost Northwestern too, because this Maryland team is much better than that. But yeah, I love Maryland. I think they win outright, but I have them at the plus 7.5 here. And the other two games, I don't have anything in them. It's Colorado, Arizona, Baylor, and Texas are two other good games at the 4 p.m. But do you have any read on those three games?
I really don't. Um, to be honest, I kind of passed over the USC Maryland game, so I won't waste time on it right now. I will look into it once we're off here, and if I do end up liking anything, I'll tweet it out. Um, yeah, it's hard for me to back Colorado, but I think they might be the play today. And really no feel for Baylor, Texas Tech whatsoever. So yeah, really nothing. I did just lock in Auburn plus 3.5, minus 110 though.
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Talking about that Arizona team, they love playing spoiler. They do not love playing uh, home favorite, easy spoiled team. So it's just not a great spot for Arizona. And I know we like fading Colorado, but they're a scrappy team. They come back in every single game, no matter how much they're getting blown out by that. They seem to come back and hang in there. So, and Arizona is just not a team that I really want to back with any money unless they are on an upset watch, or sorry, unless they are about to upset someone. So, yeah, I don't like that spot for Arizona. Baylor, Texas Tech, maybe lean Baylor there. Everyone's making the claim Texas Tech should be ranked. They're only a 5-point favorite at home against Baylor, who's ass. But yeah, no play in that one for me. Nothing else in the 4 p.m. We do have Texas A&M, Mississippi State, but I'm not touching a 20-point spread in a conference game. Then this brings us to the night slate. And the first night slate game that I absolutely love is LSU at Arkansas. This line has gotten back up to 2.5, got all the way down to 1.5 point here in favor of LSU. I've locked in Arkansas early in the week at the +3, and I love this spot. We talked about it on Power 5 picks. It was one of the 5 games we talked about. If you guys want a more in-depth opinion on that game, make sure you do check out our Power 5 new episode that came out yesterday over on our YouTube channel here. But yeah, I love Arkansas. Again, LSU, very big emotional win against Ole Miss. They came from behind, had a touchdown or a game tying touchdown to end the game, and then won it in OT. So a huge emotional win for them. I do believe they have Texas A&M on deck, so a ranked game on deck. Traveling to Arkansas, terrible scheduling spot, terrible sandwich spot. Love Arkansas at home. Think they can uh, win it outright, but I'll take them at the +3. I'm seeing minus or +2.5 is -105. So there's definitely +3s out there, probably at the -115, if not the -110. So yeah, I love Arkansas on the spread. Think they could also win this one outright.
Yep, right there with you. Yeah, I like Arkansas quite a bit. I hope I can get a 3 somewhere like you have. Would like that more, but Yeah, I think Arkansas wins outright. I do have a bottle of Buffalo Trace sitting right over there, uncracked, and I will probably crack that. Have a nice little glass watching Brian Kelly cry in his post game interview. So that'll be my
Slam his
reason
fist
to.
on the table.
Yeah, that'll be my reason to crack that open. See what accent he comes with today. God, him and Kamala would really get along with those fake accents. But yeah, go Arkansas.
Yep. Yeah, they're America's team this week.
Yeah,
Not that I don't know. I think we have some bias towards Brian Kelly just because his time at Notre Dame. I know he coached your alma mater at Grand Valley for a while, but we've all kind of hated him over there at Notre Dame, and then goes down to LSU, and unfortunately, the
the way he
hatred
left,
follows.
the way he left Notre Dame was just
Yeah,
scumbag.
yep. I'm just going through this. Like one game I actually really love here. Did not look into it at all, but I might freaking bet it. Ball State against Vandy at Vandy. Vandy is a 27.5 point favorite. No idea Ball State. No idea their record. I'm assuming it's not very good, but Vandy has the opportunity to do the unthinkable and play and win at home against Texas next week. I don't know. They don't give two rats asses about Ball State. I think this could be a ball. I think this game is going to be a 7 point Vandy win, if not a 3 point, like maybe even OT. Vandy possibly. Yeah, I think they might be in some trouble here. I have no idea about who Ball State is, what their record is, but I think that I think I might be betting that. That's at 7. Brent Williams, what is up, brother? Yeah, apologies for that Vandy bet. You came in at the wrong time here, but love, actually really love Ball State. And I don't even. Do you know what their record is? I hope it's
Yeah,
terrible.
they're 2-4 with wins against Kent State, which just might be the worst team in the country, and they won by 2 points. And Missouri State, they won by a solid 8 points. They do have losses at the U, at Central Michigan, at James Madison, and home against Western Michigan. So, I mean, not terrible losses.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Ball State. What's their? Are they the Hawks or something? I don't even know what they're.
Cardinals, I think.
Cardinals. That also, I think Brian Kelly was at Ball State, or
Really?
maybe that was Michigan's fat coach Brady Hoke. I think Brady Hoke was at Ball State.
Mm.
Um, anyways, yeah, I love them, but I hope that's not the one game you got out of this. Got out of this live. Um, let's go to the game of the day. Georgia, Texas is the host of College Game Day. Number 5 versus number 1. Texas again has been all over the place. They've been at -4. They've been at -5. Currently sitting on DraftKings at -4.5. Another game that I can't get a read on. I think Texas wins. I think Texas wins. I have no idea on the cover here. Really want to take Georgia to keep it close. I actually just want Texas to win so I can also take Vandy next week. That's kind of just the reason I want that. But um, Brent says, "Love the Kamala and Kelly Joe. Can't wait to see him crying." Oh yeah, yeah. That would be a very happy United States or a very happy Midwest if that happens there. Hopefully Kamala cries too in a couple weeks here. Yeah. Do you have anything on Georgia? Again, I think Texas wins it, but I'm not gonna. I don't know. I'm gonna
Yeah.
have a bet in this game. I just can't figure it out.
Did I give out the under on Power 5? I think that was my official
I
play.
think you did. Yeah.
I like the under still. I think Georgia's only shot to win this game is to keep it low scoring. Yeah, I think I lean Texas minus the points. But I think if I do end up playing it, it's going to be on the under here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
You got the under at 56.5. It's up to 57.5 now. So even
great.
more value here. 81% on DraftKings is on the over.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's low scoring.
Yeah, two great defenses. Texas has been a little suspect, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I want to bet this game, and again, normally I would because I would have money to spend, but I just don't have it right now. I just don't have a great read. And yes, I know I just talked about taking Ball State, um, but I love that game. Think of Vandy loses the Ball State. What's their line going to be against Texas if Texas wins? Whoo! God,
Oof.
that'd be beautiful. But yeah, if I do have a bet on that Georgia Texas game, and I most likely will, depending how this morning goes, I will tweet that one out. Again, 90% chance I'll have a bet on this game. Right now, leaning Georgia on the spread, but Texas on the money line, which I don't love that because it's not a huge window. Would agree with you though. I do lean that under as well. Uh, let's go to K State at West Virginia. I've been on West Virginia way too many times at home. I'm staying away, which means West Virginia is going to win and cover. So you're welcome there. Iowa State, one of the most publicly bet teams I'm seeing. Not going to touch that game, but would lean UCF. I also fade Iowa State pretty much every single weekend, and that is a mistake. And then Iowa, Michigan State. Kind of love this game. Kind of love this game. I'll let you talk about if you have anything in those three games. I don't want to give away my thought before the Michigan State game, being a Michigan State fan. But I kind of love that game. Most likely we'll have a bet as well. Also, we have a comment here. What is up on Twitch? Good morning. How are you, my man? Thanks for tuning in. Hurricanes or Cardinals? I lean Louisville in that game.
Yep.
I think Ethan does as well.
Yeah, not a game that I think I'll bet, but one of my stronger leans that I won't be betting is Louisville plus the points. Wouldn't be shocked if they win outright. I do a college football pick on where you just pick the winner, no spread or anything. I did pick Louisville to win, so that's my 2 cents on that. But yeah, don't have an actual official bet.
Yeah, I think it's a tough game for Miami, and I think Louisville. The value is pretty good on you, Louisville right now, coming off two straight losses, or two out of the last three, I think, have been losses. So I think it's good value on Louisville. I think they're much better than their record indicates. So I lean Louisville, but I'm also a kind of a Miami U hater. Um, just not a huge fan of that team. But yeah, thanks for joining as well, my man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, really, I do like West Virginia. I think I'm going to be on them. I wish Kansas was better because then I'd really like the spot for West Virginia, but I don't know. Part of me thinks Kansas State could be looking ahead to Kansas, but another part of me is like, I don't know. Kansas is just dog water this year, so it's a lean at this point. It's something I'll more than likely get involved on, but have not yet. I do want to fade Iowa State at some point. I'm not sure if this is the week to do it, so I'm going to stay away from that. And then I absolutely love Michigan State. +6, homecoming. Um, yeah, just I mean, Iowa beat Washington, who Washington's not very good. I think that gave them um, some extra, or I guess less value here because Washington was off the win over Michigan, which the public market sees that as a better win than what it probably really was. And then Michigan State obviously has the three straight losses, but I mean, it's Boston College, Ohio State, and Oregon. Three teams that have all been in the rankings. Obviously, Ohio State and Oregon have been in the top three this season. So, yeah, I think Sparty at home. You know, they do have Michigan on deck, so that is the only fear here. But catching 6 points at home, and I think Sparty's defense is very similar, potentially even better than Iowa's, to be honest. And offensively, I mean, Iowa's a little bit better this year, but yeah, I think Michigan State's defense is more than capable of keeping this game close. So even last year, Michigan State, when they were completely horrible, and Iowa, who was in the Big Ten championship game, Michigan State should have won that game. They gave up 2 returns to Cooper DeJean, who thankfully is no longer there. But yeah, give me Michigan State, homecoming, night game. Absolutely love it. I think they actually probably win this one outright.
Quickly, another comment over on Twitch. I think Ricky Pearsall will have a great game, if I'm being honest. Is he back for San Fran? He's back?
He's back. Season debut.
Okay. I don't know. There's so many weapons on San Fran. It's scary to say which guy's going to go off. But yeah, I like Ricky. Unfortunately, he got shot, but I was high on him preseason for fantasy as a sleeper there. So yeah, I hope he goes off. But again, there's I mean, we just saw Brandon Ayuk go off 2 weeks ago and then had like one catch for 20 yards last week. So it's just so hit and miss with that San Fran team. There's so many weapons, so many guys to touch the ball that it's hard to tell who's going to go off. But I hope he does. I love Ricky.
Yeah, I do know Debo is back, but Jawan Jennings is out. So he'll probably take Jawan Jennings' place. So yeah, I don't hate it.
Yeah, I love Michigan State. I'm glad you're in agreement there. You're also a Michigan State fan, but a critical Michigan State fan, which I respect. Yeah, line seems a little. I mean, Iowa just dismantled Washington after they just beat Michigan. So I think people are thinking Iowa was pretty damn good. I know they lost to Ohio State pretty bad, but that was a tight first half. Um, yeah, 6.5, 6 right now. It seems a little low. It seems like people think Iowa would be a 10+ point favorite here. I know it's on the road. I know Michigan State has improved a little bit, but yeah, it just seems like a trap to take Iowa under a touchdown here. The line is going up a little bit, but that's probably because of the public seeing exactly what I'm saying. I'm seeing on DraftKings 79% on Iowa here. Yeah, I love Michigan State. I love Sparty. Hopefully, I can get them at the +7. I would love that. But yeah, love Michigan State. Also, if you guys are into player props, I know it's probably going to be pretty disgusting, but Iowa's running back Caleb Johnson is 100% scoring this game, if not twice. He is, in my opinion, the best running back in the country. Yeah, I'll keep that one. Yeah, I think he's better than Boise State's guy. He is absolutely phenomenal. He's also behind a fantastic offensive line, which helps. Um, I think if Genti played for Iowa, he'd be better. But yeah, I think Caleb Johnson is a beast, and he's going to score. He's going to score this game. Who else is going to score for Iowa? They can't throw the ball. But
Right.
yeah, I would lean, or I am going to bet Michigan State if I do have some money to spend come 7:30 p.m. tonight. So glad we're in agreement on that game.
I will quickly just say too, the reason Michigan on deck doesn't necessarily scare me about Sparty is because Sparty was atrocious last year. They haven't been great really since Kenneth Walker's last year, but um, I just think Sparty's coming into this year they wanted to make a bowl game. They weren't going for the playoff or anything, or um, even maybe they always want to beat Michigan, but I think they're really just focused on having a better year, making a bowl game. And after Iowa, they do have Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois. So three straight ranked teams before they close out with Purdue and Rutgers, both at home. So I think they see the three unranked Big Ten teams all at home on their schedule. Think, if we get those three wins, we're going to be bowl eligible. Maybe try to steal one from Michigan or one of the other two ranked teams. So I do think they're going to be full fledged focused on just getting back in the win column after three straight losses. Um, yeah, I think they really need this win to really feel good about that bowl eligibility.
Yeah, I like this spot a lot for Michigan State, and there's nothing be scarier for me being a Michigan fan than Michigan State winning this game outright and then having to play them next week. Grant, I think both Michigan, well, I think Michigan State covers. I think Michigan wins. But yeah, I'm terrified for that game next week. Michigan State, if you guys know anything about the Michigan State rivalry, has ruined my life for a lot of my formative years. Um, Sorry, I think my dog's tap dancing down there on the hardwood. Um, yeah, Michigan State's a scary team for this Michigan team because Michigan State has no care in the world other than to just beat big teams. They have a lot of big play potential with Giles at quarterback, even though he does throw a pick every other pass. But he's a scary runner and just big play potential there. The receivers are pretty solid. Defense, like you said, is great, even though their middle linebacker doesn't wear gloves or any tape. He looks like an absolute goober out there. Um, but yeah, I'm terrified for that game next week for Michigan State. But like you said, it's kind of like that, even though Purdue did not cover last night, it's kind of like that Purdue, like, oh, they're coming off an emotional loss. They have a potential, hangover spot. These teams like Purdue, like Michigan State, they don't have emotional hangovers. Every game for them is a chance to spoil someone else's season. And yes, Michigan State might make a bowl. 6-7 wins is probably the max for Michigan State here. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, unless it's not Michigan. But these teams don't get hangover effects. Every game is their Super Bowl, especially when it's a ranked game, especially when it's a rivalry game, especially when they have a game to doubt, Vegas or doubt the public or doubt things. This is what these teams live for. So there's no emotional hangover, in my opinion, for underdogs that really have nothing to lose. So that's to me what makes Michigan State so scary, especially next week against Michigan. I have nothing else tonight. Kentucky, Florida, I'm not going to touch. TCU, Utah, I'm not going to touch. Colorado State, Air Force, not going to touch. SMU, Stanford, not going to touch. Nothing else for me tonight. If you have any other games on there, feel free to give them out.
Yeah, I like three of these night games. I
Ooh, okay.
love Kentucky. Uh,
You all right? Might have lost Ethan here. He'll be back on in a second. He was going on with the loving of Kentucky. Let me get him back in here real quick.
My back?
Yes, let me get your link in here. Okay. All right, I believe he's back.
Okay, let me see here. I'm looking on the. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right.
Internet just popped off, but yeah, I like Kentucky. But really, for those who have followed along at all this year, I'm just anti-Florida. I just don't think Florida is very good. They had that really tough loss to Tennessee last week, overtime, extra effort game. Probably should have won. And now they have Georgia and Texas as their next two games, and then LSU and Ole Miss. So just a terrible spot here for Florida. Kentucky is off that loss to Vanderbilt, which turns out Vandy isn't quite as bad as what we thought. But yeah, I think this is just maybe an overlooked spot here for Florida. I just don't think they're going to take Kentucky too seriously. I like Kentucky's defense. So yeah, I'm going to lay it with Kentucky on the road. I think the line's kind of fishy. I do lean Oregon State here against UNLV. I actually don't know if this is a game that.
Did we lose you again? We're losing him again. His internet is not wanting him to give the picks here. There he is again.
I don't know what's going on here.
Okay, we can wrap up here pretty quick. I'll try to bring it back in, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. I'll just skip that game.
Okay.
I'll just do Utah.
All right. I believe you're back in, but we can wait a second.
All right. Sorry about that. I will we'll skip Oregon State. Oregon State is my lane, but I do like Utah -3 here. Really, I like that Cam Rising is finally just done. He's just out of the picture. I think the team can now kind of focus. They know who their quarterback is going to be moving forward, so they can fully focus their game plan around him. They're off back-to-back losses, Arizona and Arizona State. So I think this can kind of be a get-right game. I don't think TCU is very good whatsoever. I think they still kind of carry a name just from their national championship run. But yeah, I just think Cam Rising out of the picture is such a positive for Utah. So I think 3 points is kind of a gift at home. I just think they're the way better team. Obviously, coming into the year, they had way bigger expectations than what TCU did. And yeah, ultimately, I just think 3 points at home, night game, is just kind of a gift. So I do like Utah quite a bit.
Yeah, another comment over here on Twitch from Chocobo Will. Go Lions. Yes, sir. Big game this weekend against the Vikings. Don't know how I feel about that one. We'll be betting it. I think the over is safe. Justin Jefferson over yards is safe. But yeah, go Lions. Huge game this weekend. Yeah, we'll keep this one short here. We got about an hour until kickoff. We really appreciate you guys for hopping on here and commenting. A lot of comments today. Our main channel is over on YouTube. So if you guys do want to send a sub or a like or a share over on our YouTube channel, we greatly appreciate it. We will be posting all of our plays over on Twitter. I've already sent a tweet out there. I have a couple games that I have bet. I'm up to 6 games. We'll be adding a couple more games like that Michigan State spread, like that. I'm going to bet it, like that Ball State spread against Vandy. And then a couple other, I'll probably be involved in the 2 big games between Georgia, Texas, and Bama and Tennessee. So make sure you do follow both of us over on Twitter. We post our plays there every single day, free of charge. Make sure you do check that out. And again, please like, subscribe, and share over on YouTube. We really appreciate it. But Ethan, do you have anything to add here before we sign out for a great week 8 of college football?
Yeah, 2 college football bets I have locked in. I have Auburn +3.5, Michigan -3.5. I do have the Nashville Predators in the NHL locked in. I got a -176 on the money line. I am going to do 2-unit Alabama money line. I think I might do 2-unit Michigan State +6. And I think I might just get involved with Coastal Carolina. That's kind of the gut play of the week for me, which has turned out to be pretty good in college football. So, well, it was UNC last week, and that game just destroyed me. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go Coastal plus 5.5. But yeah, as always, I'll tweet out all the official plays. But really, really good week of football here. Yeah, can't wait to watch it all.
Yeah, we hope you guys make some money today, win some money today. We might be live tomorrow. We haven't talked about it yet. If we do go live tomorrow for Sunday, we will probably be doing it starting at the halftime of the London game. So it's better to watch this than whatever bullshit they put on the screen in London over there. So yeah, make sure you do check out our Sunday live. We do have our Sunday NFL prediction video out there as well. We will have our Monday night special episode. We have a double header on NFL Monday Night Football. We will have an episode out there as well over on our YouTube channel. So we appreciate you guys. Happy Saturday. Good luck with all your bets. Hopefully you guys can all win a lot of money this weekend, and we'll see you next time. See you guys.
One last quick thing. I do love the NFL card tomorrow. So
Ooh,
yeah, if we go
okay.
live, tune in. I've already have multiple big plays locked in. So love the NFL card. Yeah, public 8 last week, and it's not going to be the case this week. So
I love it.
absolutely love it.
Make sure you do tune in. If not, follow on Twitter for all the official plays. But yeah, good luck, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys.